Hi everyone. In this video, I'll be going through how to complete your CGFNS application on your one. Because when I was doing this for me last year, I had a lot of questions and I was confused in like most of the sections of the application and the forms. So it almost took a month for me to submit my application. I tried asking some of my friends who were also going through CGFNS processing at the same time, but most of them were going through authorized agents, so they didn't have much idea on the step-by-step process of CGFNS application. I tried looking for some YouTube videos as well. There were few, but not as detailed and as in depth as I was looking for. So here in this video, I have tried my best to make it as detailed as possible so that it does not take a lot of time for you to submit your application and helps you to get your credentials evaluated on time. So let's begin. So the very first thing you need to do is go to the website of the CGFNS. So type cgfns.org. Now we are in the website of the CGFNS. So we are seeing the headers here, apply and login. So apply is for those who are new to the CGFNS website and who do not have an account here, and login is for those like me who already have an account here. Beneath the headers, where we see here the navigation bar, which is about what CGFNS is, what kind of services it provides, and so on. We are not gonna discuss in detail about the CGFNS and kind of services it provides because it might consume a lot of time and we might need to create a separate video for this one. So let's move on and hit the supply button and then continue to CGFNS Connect portal and applicants, create an account. Okay, so because like I said, I already have an account here and my email address and password associated with the CGFNS account is saved here, so that's why this is showing my personal email address. Just to make sure that we don't skip the part of creating an account, I will use my another email address to show you. Looks good. Now click send code. Okay, so once you provide your personal email address, CGFNS will send you the code and the link in your email. So let's check the email. Okay, so here it is. So one more thing, the link and the code that has been sent by the CGFNS usually expires within 30 minutes. So this is the code 396692. And I'm clicking the link here. Okay. 396692 and verify code. Now click applicant, submit it. Okay, so this is the step one of creating an account here. So here you'll have to fill your personal information, first name, middle name if you have, or else just your last name, and then your date of birth. And it is asking me if I have a CGFNS ID number. Yes, I do have, but I'm pretending here to be a new user, so I will just put no. And then additional information, it is asking me if I have a passport. I do have, so I will just click yes. If you do not have, click no. If you have, then click yes. And then it's not the correct one, I will just put my home country. Okay, and then passport number. I don't remember my passport number right now, so I will just leave this space for now. Then again, your healthcare professional license. I do have my healthcare professional license in my home country as well, so I will just click yes. So one thing here, in order to give NCLEX, you have to make sure that you have your license in the foreign country. It's like one of the requirement for the foreign nurses, because in the CGFNS as well, you will have to provide your license information. They will verify if it's correct or not. So yeah, you will have to have one, and then it again asks you your license information. Again, it's not the correct, so I will just put my home country. Okay, and then again, I don't remember my license number. It's not the correct one, so yeah, I will leave this space. You guys can look at your one and then mention your license number here. Again, for the education part, mention the name of the country where you completed your either your diploma or associate or bachelor's degree. In my case, it was my own home country, Nepal, where I completed my bachelor's degree. Okay, and once you type your country name, then it will automatically show the list of universities and colleges from that country. So let's see here. Okay, this one is right. And the completion year, it is asking me when did I finish my college. So it was the year 2019. So I will just mention this. And then if you scroll a bit down, you will see that terms and conditions, and then you have to click this one and then submit this one. So this was the step one. I'm not submitting this because I already have an account and I do not want to duplicate those information with my already existing account. Once you submit it, I'm sure you'll see the step two, which is usually about security questions. You'll have to answer two or three security questions, like what's your first best friend's name, what's your first pet name, and things like that. Make sure you remember answers to those questions, because later on, every time you want to log into your account, it will ask you one of those security questions, and if you forget those, you'll have to again go through other steps, so you don't want that. So then after then step two, it will be usually step three, which is about creating your password. So you will be creating a password for your CGFNS account, and then you will be done with the account creation step. Now that we have created an account, let's log in. In order to do that, we have to go back to the website of CGFNS. Now we'll click login, applicants, login. So here you are going to use your email address that you used to create your account in the beginning. I'm going to use my previous email address that is associated with my CGFNS account. Click continue. So my password is already saved here, so I don't have to click it here, and then continue. So like I told you earlier, it's gonna ask you your one of your security questions every time you try to log in here. So for me, it's asking me name of the country where I completed my bachelor's degree. So I'm just gonna type here and then submit security questions. Okay, now finally we are in. This is your dashboard. If you click here, it will show the same thing. This, if you scroll a bit down, you will see a table where your order status will be shown. Here my order status shows report issued. We'll talk about in detail later on once we submit our application, and then make a payment for the CES or CVS report for now. Let's go back and let's talk about what it is in briefly. So on the left hand side, you will see your name here, welcome, and then beneath this you will see your CGFNS ID number. So pay attention to this CGFNS ID number, because later on, every time you try to contact CGFNS via phone in order to ask anything about your order status, they will ask you your CGFNS ID number and you will have to provide this one. So make sure you keep remembering this one. And then here it says upload applicant photo. It's up to you. You can add if you want, or else you can just leave it as it is. And let's click to my profile first. My profile, okay. Okay, so here you can see how many sections of CGFNS forms you have to complete before you submit the application. There are total 10 sections. It's personal information, your contact information, employment, and so on. We'll look into this one by one. Okay, so the first section is filling your personal information here, which is pretty simple. So type your first name here, middle name if you have, and then your last name or surname if you don't have any middle name. So one thing is, like, if you have any confusion about any of the things that has been listed in the left hand side, what you can do is just click this small eye icon. Then it will show you what is asking you to fill in the blanks here. So, and then if you have used any other names besides what you have mentioned above, then you can list other names as well here. And then your gender, your marital status, and then your date of birth. And then it is asking you, have you been issued a United States social security number? So SSN or social security number is a number that is usually issued by the US government before you are eligible to work. So it's kind of requirement before you can work here. So click yes if you have been issued a social security number, click no if you do not have one. So for those applicants who are not residing in the United States right now, click no. And then, have you ever had a background check? So if you have been asked, or if you have done your background check before, then click yes. Click no if you do not have. So it's like whenever you are doing an internship or work or something like that, then the organization mostly asks you to have your background checked. So then your country of birth, current citizenship status, or for which country you have your citizenship. You can type as many country as you have citizenship for. And then languages, your first language or your native language. Languages you speak fluently, it could be English, French, or any other language. Languages you can write fluently. And then professions, so here it asks you to select profession for which you received your formal education. I did my undergrad degree in nursing, so I will just put registered nurse here, because for this profession I have received my degree. But if you have other degrees besides the nursing degree that you have received in the past, then you can include it here as well. So if you click here, then you will see the list of other options that you might want to include if you have received those degrees. Then your passport information, your passport number, and then the country that issued your passport. Click next. So in my case it does not show the save option because I have already saved all this information here. But in your case, maybe you will see the save option, so you can click the save option, save changes, and then only after that you can do next. Because what it will do is, like, every time you log in to your account, the information that you have saved here will remain unchanged. I will just click next here. Okay, it's loading, loading. Okay. So the second section, now we have completed our first section. Now we are in our second section, which is about your contact information. You scroll down, you will see that you have to provide your mailing address as well as your physical address. For those applicants who are not in the United States, you need to provide your address where you are currently residing in. But for those who are in the United States right now, physical address is the address where you are living, and mailing address might be different if you want to receive your mails or any other documents in different address, but it's usually the same. In my case it's same, so I just mentioned that it's same as mailing address. And then it automatically shows my address here as well, so we don't have to type the same thing like twice. And then your primary phone number, you can provide your primary phone number or an alternate phone number if you have, otherwise just click next. Now, this is about your employment history. If you have worked in a profession that you selected in the beginning of this form, which could be either an RN or LPN or whatever it is, and if you have worked within the past 5 years, and if you want, you can include it here. Otherwise, you can just click not applicable. If you click not applicable, you have to give a brief explanation of why it didn't work. Explain below why you do not have records for this professions. You might need to explain it. Otherwise, you can just scroll down and then you can add your employer record. I worked for like only few months, so that's why I chose not to mention it here. You could just say yes if you have worked in your healthcare profession that you selected, and then select profession. You'll see RN, that automatically pops out here, so you could just click it here. And then name of the facility or organization where you worked, name of supervisor, it could be your in charge nurse or whoever it is, and then title or position of supervisor, what was the title, in charge, matron, or and name of the country where you worked, address, and then the city, and then the province, and then the zip code. Now you have to mention about your job position as well. For instance, it could be a staff nurse or charge nurse or what it was. You need to mention your job title here, and then your job status, whether it was full time, part time, and then the date when you started working. Still employed with this facility or organization? Click yes if you are. Click no if you are not employed. Name when employed, you changed your name, or if it was a different name when you are or you were working, then you might need to provide a different name. Otherwise, it's just the same name that you have been using throughout this form. Primary language of the patient population, so maybe in my case it was all Nepalese people, so you could mention whatever the primary language of your patient population is, and then just submit it. Okay, I'm not making any changes. I'll just leave as it is. Let's do next. No. Now let's move on to this part. This part is about whether you have any specialty working in specific clinical areas, like it could be ICU, ER, or med-surg or oncology, whatever it is. If you have a certificate of working in a special clinical area, then you can include here. You have to click add specialty. In my case it was not, so I just clicked not applicable. In your case, if you want, you could just click here, and then the name of facility or organization, type of specialty certification, you see it here. It could be healthcare disaster certification, or if it's something else, you can just click other. Name of specialty certification, name when the certification was issued, whether it was the same name or a different name. and whether it has an expiration date or not, date issued, countries that issued your specialty certificate, and the address of the country. Okay, let's move on. So now this part is about continuing education or revalidation, which we need to fill it if we are, or if you are currently taking some education or course in order to remain updated with the changes in your profession. For instance, like if when you get an RN license here, you have to renew it every few years depending on the state you are licensed at, and then in order to get your license renewed, you have to take a certain course of certain hours. So if you are taking a certain education or course like that for your license revalidation, or in order to keep yourself updated with the changes, then you might need to add here, or else just click not applicable. Also mentions here that it is something that you receive after completion of your entry level professional education in order to stay current with the changes in your profession and advance your career. You can just click here, and then you can add the record of your continuing education, and then it's the same thing, it's the basic thing. I believe you'll be able to figure out on your one. So yeah, you can see the list here. The type, where you are valid, a credential, diploma, or title, certificate. What was your name? Are you still attending the program? Date, start date, contact hours, and things like that. Just click not applicable if you do not have any kind of continuing education record. And then next. So this part is about your licensure information. Let's see. So it will show something like this because I have already filled this form and it has already been completed. But in your case, you might see an option to add about your license information. I'm gonna show you how it looks on your screen. And one more thing, like even before you submit it, like for example, if you have not submitted the whole CGFNS form, and then if you have confusion about some of the parts of this form, then you can just go back and then click edit, and then edit your information if you feel like it's not right. So country that issued your license, and then authority, so it's the name of the authority body of nursing. So it was NNC or Nepal Nursing Council in my case, and then the profession, and then title. You don't have to, but I think I had mentioned it. I had tried to change it into my native language, but I think it kind of looked weird and different than what I intended to type, so it's fine. And then the organization's address and license renewal details. So it is asking me if I have renewed my license ever or not, because my license expires after 6 years, and I have not renewed it yet. So I just clicked no. Date issued. When was my license issued? Does your license expire? Yes. Date expired. Date expired means, so my license will expire on 26. So just the month and year when it's gonna expire. Name on license, I don't know. I think I just left this part as it is, because I'm not seeing anything right here right now. I guess it should be fine. It's just asking me my name, what is my name on my license, so it should be fine. And then my license number and method of license, it is asking you the method you got your license. Either it was by exam, anything like that. So it was, I think once you click it here, I cannot click it because I have already submitted it, so that's why it's not showing me the option to edit or change it. But I believe you will be able to see it. And if it was an exam, if you had to give an exam in order to get your license, then just click national, provincial, or state exam. License status active. It has not expired, it's active. If your license has been ever revoked or suspended, no. And then just submit it. Okay, I hope that part is clear too. And yeah, and once you fill your information, the dashboard is gonna show you like this. The dashboard for this section, it's gonna show like the profession, license number, title, country that issued your license, name of the authority, and so on. And then click next again. So this part is similar to the previous one. However, it is specifically asking you about the license examination that you gave before you got your license. So let's see here. And again, I'm just reminding you that it will be different in your screen. It will be probably add license information or something like that. I'm just clicking edit here. Examination details, it's asking you the profession you gave exam for, and then country, and then state, and then so here this might be a tricky part. Is this section is probably asking you to provide you the formal name of the license examination. And in your, I don't see the options here right now, but you might see these options for NCLEX RN and NCLEX PN as well. However, if this is your first time applying for CGFNS in order to give NCLEX RN or PN exam, then don't select that, because it is asking you about the formal name of your previous license or exam, not the one that you are applying for. So in my case, the license exam that I gave in Nepal was called, or is called, National Licensure Examination for Nurses. You might want to put name of your license examination, what it is called in your country or in another country that you gave them, in order to practice an RN or LPN. And the authority, so the authority that for which I gave this exam is called NNC in Nepal. And then the address, it's gonna be the same as I mentioned in the previous one. Additional examination details, so it is asking you how many times did you give this exam. So it was just one time, and whether you pass this or not, and when did you successfully pass the exam. You are not sure about the date when you pass the exam, I guess it's usually in your license certificate. So if you get that, then probably you're gonna find that one. Then did you did passing this examination, so whether you got your license after you passed your examination or not. Yes if you got, no if you did not. And then submit it. Now next. And for this part, you are going to enter your education information, be it your diploma, bachelor's, or master's. You can add as many as you can. For example, if you have your diploma degree or PCL, let's say, that is a common term to address diploma in Nepal. And you all have also got your bachelor's degree after your diploma level, then you can also add your diploma as well as bachelor's degree here. Here I'm gonna show you how it might look in your screen. Is this a professional education record? Yes. Profession, and then education level, entry level education. I completed my bachelor's degree as soon as I got out from my high school, so it would be my entry level education. Like if you have like I said, diploma degree, then your diploma degree would be considered your entry level education. Education type, bachelor's degree, country where I completed my education, name of school, and name your name when you attended this school. So it was same, I think. Yeah, you'll get the option if you click it here. Did you complete or graduate from this program? Yes. Name of the diploma or degree in English and then in native language. Yeah, I just translated it in Google, what it is called. Came out like this, so I just put it in Roman because it was not possible to put it in my one native language here. And my admission date and completion date. So this is something that you might need to pay attention to, because some of my seniors told me that if there is any discrepancies in the start and end date, then the CGFNS might take it a bit longer in order to process your application. So make sure it's correct. And has the school closed or not? Has the school merged with another school or not? And the address of the school. Then submit it, and that's all for this section. Click next. So now in this part, you will be mentioning your education history from like primary, secondary, high school education, which you completed before you entered into your entry level education for the profession. So you'll probably see two options: one for higher secondary education and other one for your primary and lower secondary education. I started with my higher secondary education first. So level of education would be higher secondary education, country would be Nepal, and name of school attended. So just think here, that's not the name of the school that I attended. It's the board that controls the high school, all the high schools in Nepal. But and I am sure that I didn't mention it here. It was something else, but I don't know, being it different here. And like some of the other stuffs that I completed here, I don't know why the CG in this form now I cannot see all the information that I had filled before. Maybe it's because of a glitch in the website or something else. Yeah, but you don't have to worry about that. Just mention the name of the school you attended in your high school. So, and your name when you attended the school. Again, I would say the same thing. If it's the same name throughout your forms and throughout your high school or your school, then it would be the same your name. I don't know why it's not displaying, but yeah, it's the same. Did you complete or graduate from this program? Yes. So name of the diploma or degree credential in English. So yeah, like I said, I don't see so many information that I filled before now, because if you notice here, this asterisk signs means that I had to fill the information. Without filling those information, I could not have been able to move on. But yeah, it's not showing right now, so yeah, that's fine. But yeah, here you could just mention in the name of the diploma, you could mention higher secondary education, and the name of diploma or credential in native language. So you might need to use Google to convert what it is called in your native language. In my native language, it's called Ucha Madhyamik Shiksha. So that I just put Ucha Madhyamik Shiksha in Roman in this part. Um, I hope this would be helpful for students who are applying from Nepal or who are from Nepal. And this part is asking whether you had to give any exam in order to be eligible to study further after your high school. In my case, it was. So I just said yes, and name of the examining body. So yeah, here I'm going to show you. In here, I mentioned higher secondary education board because this is what it is called there. I guess it is same with like so many countries too. Yeah, and the name of examination certificate awarded, it's called higher secondary education certificate, and it was something that was clearly mentioned in my transcript too. So yeah, I just mentioned this. And the issue date, for the issue date, you can just refer back to your transcript from high school, because that's what I did, and mentioned 2015 October as my transcript issue date for the high school. And did you pass the examination? Yes. Admission and completion date, again, it's not showing my admission date here, but yeah, you can just refer back to your transcript and then mention those here. Has this school closed or merged? No. Address of school, country, street name, and yeah, things like that. So yeah, again, submit it and then close it. So in the same part, and This is about primary and lower secondary education. Country where you completed your primary and lower secondary education. Name of school. Yeah, so that's the name of the school I attended for my primary and lower secondary education, and my name, it was same. Did you complete or graduate? Yes. Name of diploma or degree credential in English. So in my time, it was called School Leaving Certificate or SCLC. Name of the diploma or credential in native language. So it's called Pravesika Pariksha in Nepal. So yeah, I just mentioned it. And were you required to sit for any external examinations in order to be granted access to higher education? Yes, I had. And then what was the name of the examining body? In my country, it is called National Examination Board. So make sure what it is called in your one country and then put it here. And what was the name of the examination certificate awarded? It used to be called School Living Certificate back when I completed it, but I like I said, it's different now. It's called SCE. And if you also completed SLC, then that's fine. If you completed SCE, then it will be SCE. For those people who are seeing and applying from Nepal or who have completed their primary and lower secondary education from Nepal. So this is for you guys about school living certificate and SCE. Moving ahead, issue date. Just again go through the transcript from your primary and secondary education and mention it here. Did you pass the exam and admission and completion date? So here just a brief information about primary and lower secondary education. So in Nepal, it's usually either 12 or 13 years of primary and lower secondary education that we need to do or complete before we jump into high school. So the in my case it is 11 years, counting from nursery to grade 10. Usually 13 years in Nepal. Might be different in different countries, so just calculate how many years of education you had to complete before you jumped into high school, and then you mention the start date and the end date like this, because end date would be, I believe it's easy because it's usually mentioned in the transcript, but in my case my start date was not mentioned in the transcript, so I had to calculate on my one. And then I just and in Nepal the dates is kind of different. We kind of use Nepali dates there, so I had to convert the Nepali dates into English and then mentioned it here. So that should not be a big problem for you guys. If your transcript has your start date, then that's great. If not, then you can just manually adjust it, I would say. And has this school closed or merged with another school? No. Name of the address of the school attended. And then yeah, so submit it, and then that's all for this section. Now we are almost towards the end of the form. So here this section is about submitting your English language proficiency test. When I called CGFNS asking about this, they told me that, and I was applying, I was thinking to apply for Texas Board of Nursing. And they told me that, and I had also researched it, that, and I came to found that Texas Board of Nursing does not require English language proficiency test if the student has completed their education in English language, their education for nursing in English language. They don't want it. And I also asked CGFNS. They also told me the same, that uh, I don't need to submit it to CGFNS if I'm applying for like Texas Board of Nursing or for other Board of Nursing that does not require English language proficiency test. However, I think like for international nurses who are applying for giving NCLEX examination, after they give NCLEX examination, in order to work here, I believe they have to give either IELTS or TOEFL exam and have to score minimum of 7 in speaking in IELTS and minimum of 26 in TOEFL IBT. After they give NCLEX, and if you want to work here, I think there is something called visa screening. I also came to know about that lately. So after knowing about that, I also thought to send my TOEFL score to CGFNS. However, it was quite late. Still, I submitted it like 2 or 3 days before my TOEFL score was going to expire. But it is up to you if you want to send it. Then of course you can, and it also depends upon your state requirements, state where you are willing to work. And then that's about English language proficiency test. Now moving on. So that was the final part of the form. The next is about your profile summary, where you will see all the information that you filled out in each sections of the this form. So your personal information, your address, professions, and so on. You will see each of them here. So now you can submit and transmit your form to CGFNS. However, I think I also mentioned it earlier in the beginning of the video that if you submit it, once you submit it, you cannot make changes to the information here. So make sure it's correct. If you want to make changes or edit it, and then of course go ahead and submit and transfer this form to the CGFNS. After this, you will be asked to do some few more steps ahead. For example, you might need to choose your state board of nursing. You might need to choose a state where you want to work after you pass NCLEX. In my case, I chose Texas Board of Nursing because I came to know that it's a compact state. So you will be talking about the differences between compact and non-compact state in next video. For now, yeah, I chose Texas Board of Nursing and CES, Credential Evaluation Service Professional, not academic professional report. I purchased that one. I think a year ago it was 365 US dollars. I think the price had changed now. And for most of the states, you will require to purchase CES professional report in CGFNS after this step. However, if you are choosing your board of nursing as New York State Board of Nursing, then make sure you purchase CVS, Credential Verification Service report, not CES. That's something New York Board of Nursing differs from other states. Once you purchase your CES professional report, you will find three different forms which needs to be filled by your school official and your nursing council. Now I'm gonna show you where to find those forms, how to fill out those forms, and what to do with those forms. In order to get those, we'll have to go back to your dashboard, scroll down, and like I said earlier, you will find your order status here, your order number, date you ordered, and the service you ordered, CES professional report. And right here you will find those three different forms: one for your high school information, other one for your nursing school, and the last for your nursing council, from where you got your license. So now let's look at the first form. So this is for your secondary school diploma or your examination certificate, where you will attach your information about your high school. In this part, what you need to do is scroll down, choose one of these three options. I chose third because that's what was appropriate in my case. And then sign it here and mention the date. And this is the address of CGFNS where you'll need to send this form along with your transcript and the documents from your high school. However, I will tell you what I did. One of my seniors suggested me that sometimes CGFNS also asks you for your documents like your photocopies of your passport or birth certificate, although it is not explicitly asked here. So in the just case, because sometimes it usually takes 1 week or two to get the documents to for the CGFNS to receive these documents, and then other maybe 1 or 2 months for the documents to be reviewed by the CGFNS. So in order to avoid delaying the processing time, I just included this form along with my transcripts from not only high school but from my school, my photocopies of my citizenship, photocopies of my passport, birth certificate, and like every legal documents that I had. If you want to do that, you can also do that. And once you collect all those documents and in an envelope, and then mention your name and then address and the address where you will be sending it. And then I just went to USPS and then told them to send this the CGFNS. So now then let's talk about the another form. So this is our 4 page total. The first page needs to be filled by you, not the school official. And however, the other 3 pages of this form needs to be filled by your school official. You don't have to do anything, just sign it here and mention the date here in the first form, and the rest 3 forms provided to your school official. They will mention your clinical hours and the other stuff that has been asked here. Once they complete it, they will seal it in an envelope and then we'll give it to you to send it via FedEx, or that depends on the school as well. Ask them. So I was in the United States while I was doing all this things, so I told one of my brother to do this stuffs for me, so it was kind of easy. And one more thing, what I did was, like, if you are in your country right now, it's not hard, like, you can just print this form and then sign it here. But if you are in the United States, you have to sign it, and then you have to scan the first page and then send it to your person who will be looking after the stuffs, and then they will collect those the first page and then include it with the rest of the page in the envelope, and then send it to the CGFNS. In addition to this form, I also included the curriculum of my bachelor's degree nursing. The last form you need to send to the CGFNS is your license form here. So like, just like your school official form, the first page of this form is for you. You have to sign it and mention the date, and the rest of the 2 forms needs to be filled by your nursing council. Give it to them, they will seal it in an envelope and then provide it to you, and then you'll have to send it via FedEx. Or in addition to these 3 forms, additional thing that you may need to know is, in my country, in order to get the forms filled by the nursing council, we had to submit a letter to the nursing council addressing the subject, and where are you right now, what are you trying to do, and yeah, requesting the form to be filled by the nursing council. And the same thing goes for the school official as well. That was about CGFNS forms. Once you submit all those forms, I'm gonna show you what to do next. So here, once the CGFNS receives forms, they will update you via email, and in the website too, you can see it here. Maybe in the order status, it will show either received, and once it goes to the next step, once before your item is reviewed, it will be mentioned something like under review, and once your item is reviewed, it will be it has been approved, accepted. Or if they want something else, if there is something missing in your form, then they will let you know via email, and then you will see a different kind of sign. Let me see how to see those. Where is that? Okay, service credential validation. Okay, yeah. Here, so if you see a green tick, then that's a good sign. That is like no further action required. If you see this sign under review, you have to wait. Your document is under review and you'll be notified when your document gets reviewed. However, if you notice this sign, then you might need to provide additional document or whatever is missing in the file. And then once all of the documents, your application documents, you will see this one when as soon as you buy or purchase CES professional report. After then, general education documents means the documents from your high school and school, and professional or vocational education means the documents sent by your school official, and license means the document sent by your license nursing council, sorry. And then once you get all this take the green, then that means your document has been reviewed and evaluation report or your CES report has been issued. You'll see the status like this: paid in full. As soon as you paid, you will see this one, and for each of this one, either you will see this mark under review or further action required if they need additional documents, or the green tick mark if nothing is needed. One more thing, how you can see messages in CGFNS. You can just click it here, my messages, and then correspondence, I believe. Yes, and then so you can see it here, the dates, and if you click one of these and download it, you will see what have they sent about, what is the thing that you need to do, or they, whether if they have received your document, then they also send it that your document has been received, things like that. Last thing I'm going to show you is how your report looks when it is issued. So my dashboard, and then yeah, as I said, my TOEFL IBT score has already been expired. Let's see, click here to review a copy of your CES report. So this is how it looks like: CGFNS ID number, professional education and license summary, license status, nursing program, and their analysis. Yes, this is how it looks like. And also the ES report will be directly sent to the board of nursing that you chose while you were purchasing the CES report. Like I said, I chose Texas Board of Nursing, so my CES report was automatically sent to Texas Board of Nursing as soon as it was issued. So CGFNS will take almost at least 3 months to review your documents and issue your report. In my case, it took 6 months because one of the information was missing from the documents that was sent by my school official. So I had to resend the document, and again took like 3 more months to get the whole process done. Yeah, in the meantime, you can also make a phone call to CGFNS if you have any other questions about your application status. So that was all about CGFNS application. Hope this video was helpful. I hope it was clear for like most of you. If you have any other questions, you can also mention it in the comment section, and I will try to get back to you. If you found this video useful, please do share with your friends and comment in the comment section. Thank you for watching the whole video, and have a good day and good luck with your CGFNS application.